we'll talk first about the main revelation, which was the defection of the Tory MSP Graham Simpson to Reform. Monica, he is a Central Scotland MSP like you. I've heard a rumour that once upon a time you actually hugged a tree with him, correct?
I didn't realise we were going to start there. Well, I've known Graham a long time. We were councillors together in South Lanarkshire Council. Graham was a councillor in East Kilbride and I was in Hamilton. And so as long as I've known Graham, he's been a Tory. He's been a councillor, I think, from 2007. And we were elected to Parliament at the same time. We'll talk about the politics of it, but one of the interests that Graham Simpson has as an MSP is nature. So I'm not sure how well that'll go down with his new friends in Reform. So he is a bit of a tree hugger, as am I. There's no shame in that. So we were on a parliamentary visit with other colleagues, including Mark Ruskell from the Greens, and the three of us did hug a tree in Scotland rainforest, and Graham really enjoyed it. He shared that story in Parliament at other events, but I'm not sure if that'll fit in now with his new cronies in Reform. So I'm not
sure. I mean, Reform are not exactly known for their love of the environment and climate change activism, are they?
Well, they certainly like to talk down the needs for climate action, is it net stupid zero and things like that to say. But, if you want people to be more at risk of their houses being flooded and, our bills going up in the future. But the serious point is, it's been rumoured for a while that Graham Simpson was probably on that watch list of who's likely to go to Reform. It's not for me to say, it's because that's going to be his route to get re-elected to Parliament, but it's quite likely now he'll be top of the list for Reform UK and Central Scotland, and that could give him, almost guaranteed return to the Parliament. But I think it shows that the Scottish Tories are pretty much done. I mean, Russell Findlay must be wondering between now and Tuesday when the Parliament returns, like, how many MSPs will he have when he goes back? He's lost Jamie Green already. He lost Jeremy Balfour last week. It's not good for the Scottish Tories. But I think for the voters, when they, do get the chance to vote next year, when they look at the Reform candidates, it's pretty much the Scottish Tories with one or two exceptions.
Were you surprised that he defected? I mean, doesn't strike me as being a true believer when it comes to Reform. I wouldn't describe him as moderate, but he's not a headbanger when it comes to right-wing Tory politics. And just, to me, it reeks of careerism more than an ideological commitment to what Nigel Farage stands for.
I think a lot of people are making that conclusion out of it. I mean, don't want to make this all about Graham Simpson. He can advertise himself, but I do know that Graham, he works hard, he puts in a shift. He's been pretty good on some issues that maybe the Tories haven't been great on, like try to promote public transport. Like I said, on nature, I've got a members' bill on ecocide, and that's about looking at severe environmental harm, looking at the most serious crimes. And Graham was one of the first MSPs to sign that on a cross-party basis. Again, I don't know if that really fits with the narrative of Reform UK, where they want to be, we're against all this, and everything to do with the environment is apparently woke. So who knows? But the thing about Reform UK and Scotland, they don't actually have a leader. They've kind of got a spokesperson, I guess, in Thomas Kerr, who's a councillor in Glasgow.
They've got a group leader at Holyrood, one Graham Simpson.
But again, it's chaotic, isn't it? Because I think previously Reform UK have said we won't have a leader in Scotland until after the Holyrood elections. Now Nigel Farage is in town saying, there will be a leader. I mean, he is the leader. So if you're voting for Reform, that's who you're being led by. But of course, Graham Simpson is not the first Reform UK MSP.
Yes, no, that we'll come to that. That was one of the gaffes at this pretty memorable press conference. I mean, just one of the last things on the actual defection, John. I think the Sunday Mail had a story a while back, was it a few weeks ago, which sort of suggested that Simpson might be a potential
defector. I mean, we had heard that this was in the pipeline, and at the time, he was denying it, but he got the feeling that he wasn't denying it as quite as wholeheartedly as he could have done. I'd agree. It does feel like a very opportunistic move, which I think Conservatives tend to be quite opportunistic in nature, and so Russell Finlay will be very worried that there's going to be more similar defections. I think if you're looking at this and you're thinking, well, I'm probably going to be out of a job in less than a year. With reform, I've got a better chance of staying in it, and so I'm going to jump ship. It's sad, but Nigel Farage, politics can be a great thing that can bring people, when it brings people together around a shared purpose. Unfortunately, Nigel Farage seems absolutely hell-bent on using it to divide people, and it's quite sad to see people who become MSPs, you would hope for the right reasons, now jumping onto that bandwagon.